हेलो दोस्तों, बिगनर्स पॉइंट में आपका स्वागत है। और अभी हम कर रहे हैं वर्ब्स एंड टेंसेस। वर्ब, व्हाट इज अ वर्ब? Verbs are the action words in a sentence that describe what the subject is doing. Along with nouns, verbs are the main part of a sentence or phrase telling a story about what is taking place. In fact, without a verb, full thoughts cannot be properly conveyed, and even the simplest sentence, such as Maria sings, have one. Actually, a verb can be a sentence by itself with the subject in most cases you implied, such as sing and drive. These are some important points you need to keep in mind for this topic. First is subject, doer of the verb. पहला क्या है? सब्जेक्ट है जो कि डूअर है। ऑब्जेक्ट क्या है? रिसीवर है। वर्ब एक्शन और स्टेट इन द सेंटेंस। वर्ब क्या होती है? जो ये सब्जेक्ट एक्शन कर रहा है। सब्जेक्ट, व्हाट इज सब्जेक्ट वर्ब एग्रीमेंट? A simple subject-verb agreement definition implies that the subject of the sentence and the verb of the sentence must be in agreement in number. Basic rule of subject-verb agreement: a subject must agree with its verb in number. This has two implications. A singular subject takes a singular verb, plural subjects take plural verb. Tips and tricks for subject-verb agreement. Let's explore some interesting tips and tricks of subject verb agreement and extend your learning. सब्जेक्ट वर्ब एग्रीमेंट को सॉल्व करने की आसान सी थोड़ी बहुत छोटी मोटी ट्रिक्स। द डॉग इज प्लेइंग विद हिज बॉल, द डॉग्स आर प्लेइंग विद देयर बॉल। इन दिस केस द सब्जेक्ट ऑफ द सेंटेंस इज डॉग। सब्जेक्ट कौन है? डॉग। एंड द वर्ब यूज्ड इन इज सिंगुलर इन नेचर, इज प्लेइंग। इसमें डॉग है, इसलिए वर्ब कैसी आएगी? प्लेइंग। डॉग्स, तो फिर plural verb आएगी। In this case, the subject of the sentence is dogs and the verb used in plural in nature are playing. Subject verb agreement के कुछ rules, डायरेक्ट रूल देख लेते हैं। रूल नंबर 1, when two subjects are joined by and, the verb is plural. Example, my friend and his mother are in town. Rule number 2, when two singular nouns joined by and refer to the same person or thing, the verb is singular. Example, the captain and coach of the team has been sacked. The coach and the captain is the same person. So, an article is used only with the first subject. Therefore, the verb will be singular here. ठीक है? Point to remember in this case, in case these were two different individuals, two articles need to be used. The captain and the coach of the team have been sacked. मतलब कि दोनों क्या हैं? एक ही हैं। बर्खास्त, अच्छा इन दोनों को बर्खास्त कर दिया, निकाल दिया। रूल नंबर 3, इंडेफिनेट प्रोनाउंस एवरीवन, ईच वन, समवन, समबडी, नो वन, नोबडी, एनीवन, एनीबडी आर ऑलवेज सिंगुलर। एवरी वन, यहाँ पे 3 जने खड़े हैं, यहाँ से एक जना बोल रहा है एवरी वन, ठीक। ईच वन, ये भी समवन यानी कि ये किसी एक को बोल रहा है। समबडी, ये भी किसी एक को बोल रहा है। नो वन, इन तीनों में से कोई भी नहीं। नोबडी, अलग अलग, कोई भी नहीं। एनी वन, एनी वन, एनीबडी भी यही आएगा, सिंगुलर हो जाएंगे। एग्जाम्पल, एवरी वन इज सेल्फिश, वी डू नॉट यूज आर इन दिस सेंटेंस। दिस रूल डज नॉट अप्लाई टू फ्यू, मैनी, सेवरल, बोथ, ऑल, सम। ये वाला जो रूल है इनमें फ्यू, मैनी, सेवरल, बोथ, ऑल, सम में अप्लाई नहीं होता। फिर आ जाते हैं रूल नंबर 4, व्हेन द परसेंटेज और अ पार्ट ऑफ समथिंग इज मेंशन्ड विद plural meaning, the plural verb is used. 40 out of every 100 children are malnourished. Rule number 5, when the subjects are joined by either or neither or nor are of different persons, the verb will agree with the noun nearest to it. Example, neither you nor your dogs know how to behave. Either you or I am at fault. In these sentences, verb is used according to the nearest noun to it. Point to remember. Always remember that when either and neither are used as pronouns, they are treated as singular and always take the singular verb. For example, either of the books is fine for math preparation. आइदर कोई दो बुक रखी हैं, ठीक है, इन दोनों में से आइदर इन दोनों में से कोई बुक जो है पकड़ लो और मैथ की प्रिपरेशन करने लग जाओ. नाइदर ऑफ द एम्प्लॉयज फाइंड द वर्क laborious. In this sentence, either and neither is used as pronoun and they always take the singular verb. Rule number 1. Rule number 6. If connectives, appositives like, along with, together with, as well as, accompanied by, etc. are used to combine two subjects, the verb agrees with the subject mentioned first. Mr. Ram, accompanied by his wife Sita and his brother, was banished to the forest. Rule number 7. A number of some countable noun is always plural. ठीक है. The number of some countable noun is always singular. A number of students are going on the trip. The number of questions is in this chapter is 25. The number of होगा countable noun, तो फिर क्या आएगा singular. ठीक है. A number of होगा तो फिर क्या आएगा plural. क्यों आएगा? क्योंकि द किसी चीज स्पेसिफिक चीज के लिए आता है. ठीक है. द नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस इन दिस चैप्टर इज 25. 20 कितने हैं? 25. अ नंबर ऑफ तरीके अ नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स आर गोइंग ऑन ट्रिप. कितने नंबर हैं? राम जाने. रूल नंबर 8. द सिंगुलर वर्ब फॉर्म इज यूजुअली used for units of measurements or time. Example, 5 gallons of oil was required to get the engine running. Rule number 9. When any when any of few, many, several, both, all, some is used with a countable noun, the verb is plural. Example, some men are needed for the battle. Several students were late for the class. Rule number 10. When any of few, many, several, both, all, some is used with an uncountable noun, the verb is singular. Some data was stolen. Here data is an uncountable noun, thus the verb is singular. अब कर लेते हैं हम प्रैक्टिस कुछ क्वेश्चंस की. क्रिटिक्स एल्गी critics argue that the government is trying to leverage last year's disaster and use the funds they collected to reconstruction of an ecologically inappropriate infrastructure policy. इसमें से कौन सा करेक्ट ऑप्शन है? यहीं पे लिखा है तो देख के बोल सकते हैं सी ऑप्शन है. क्यों है? Since reconstruction is a noun, funds would be collected for it and not to it. For example, funds were collected for the flood crisis. The correct statement is critics argue critics argue that the government is trying to leverage last year's disaster and use the funds they collected for reconstruction of an ecologically appropriate in infrastructure पॉलिसी. समझ आ गया? अगले पे चलते हैं. सम ऑफ दीज डैम्स आर विटनेस्ड रिकॉर्ड लो लेवल्स on account of continued drawing of water from dead storage through the long hydrological drought stretching from October-November 2018 until the arrival of the 2019 southwest monsoon. कौन सी एरर है? नो एरर है. नहीं है क्योंकि ए ऑप्शन इसका सही है. The sentence is in present continuous form as we can see from phrases dams are and continued drawing of water. So witnessing will be used instead of witnessed since the action is still taking place. For example, recently we have been witnessing an increase in the number of cases related to obesity. The correct statement is some of these dams are witnessing record low levels an account of continued drawing of water from dead storage through the long hydrological drought stretching from October-November 2018 until the arrival of the 2019 southwest monsoon. They also requested to be told how Epstein was being monitored and what the surveillance cameras may have recording in or near Epstein cells। क्या आ जाएगा? डी ऑप्शन इसका गलत हो जाएगा। क्यों हो जाएगा? जो रिकॉर्डेड वर्ब है will be used with have, as the sentence is in the past tense and the recording has already taken place. The raw footage has been recorded. The correct sentence, the also requested to be told how Epstein was being monitored and what the surveillance cameras may have recorded in or near Epstein's cells. Guatemala President-elect Alejandro Giamatti says his country will not be able to hold its side of immigration agreement with the United States by serving as a safe third country. Hold up will be used instead of hold। यहाँ पे क्या आएगा? up आएगा। ठीक है। The item of the item to hold up meaning to withstand challenges will be used as the president is saying that he will not be able to keep his side of the agreement. For example, I wonder how long this cloth will hold up. The correct sentence is Guatemala President-elect Alejandro Giamatti says his countries will not be able to hold its side of an immigration agreement with the United States by serving as a safe third country. It looks like the Supreme Court had scored a goal for women against at least one expression of centuries old patriarchy and dogma। फिर आ जाते हैं B. In the second part of the sentence, the Supreme Court had scored a goal is grammatically wrong because the sentence is given in the present tense. So instead of the of had the correct word would be कौन सा हो जाएगा? will, क्योंकि किस में है ये? फ्यूचर टेंस में। करेक्ट सेंटेंस क्या हो जाएगा? इट लुक्स लाइक द सुप्रीम कोर्ट विल स्कोर अ गोल फॉर वुमेन अगेंस्ट एट लीस्ट वन expression of centuries old parsry and dogma। ठीक है, बताओ कोई दिक्कत? चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं। द कैट लुक्ड डेस्परेट टू गेटिंग inside the house and would accept no other option than the comfort of my sofa। The cat looked desperate to get inside the house and would be accept no other option than the comfort of my sofa। Only one। The sentence uses the preposition to before the verb, suggesting a to infinitive. It always takes the simple present tense form of the verb with to. Why? To get. None of the other parts require a correction। Social justice being multifaced dealt with various aspects of human life and society, focusing on the preservation of the rights of the handicapped, marginalized, and depressed people। Social justice be multifaced deals with various aspects of human life and society, focusing on the prevention of the rights of a handicapped, marginalized, and depressed people। Dealt is wrong since it is the past participle of the verb deal. Since the structure of the sentence is in present, the verb should be deals. Many historians believe that most of the scientific advances believed to have been made in Europe had been achieved centuries ago in India. Many historians believe that most of the scientific advances believed to have been made in Europe had been achieved centuries ago in India। Only second. The error lies in the second part of the sentence. Since the structure of the second part of the sentence is in past tense, the word belief should be replaced with its past tense believed। Choose the sentence from the given options that is grammatically correct। Note here that the context of the sentence should remain the same. The state's new policy on tourism is supposed to give the investors a big advantage. The state's new policy on tourism is supposed to give the investors a big advantage. The state's new policy to tourism is supposed to give the investors a big advantage. The state's new policy on tourism is supposed to give the investors a big advantage. The state's new policy of tourism is supposed to give the investors a big advantage. Correct option second. In the given sentence, the correct verb form is supposed to. This only reflected in option 2. She let the student worm caused the accident of the hook. She let the student who caused the accident of the hook. She let the student who has caused the accident of the hook. She let the student who caused the accident of the hook. She let the student who caused the accident of the hook. Option number 5 is correct. Let someone off the hook means to not hold someone responsible for something. Only 5 is grammatically correct. और इसी के साथ ये वर्ब और टेंस का चैप्टर हो जाता है ख़त्म। ये खाली क्या है, बेसिक है। इसके बाद जब हम करेंगे एरर डिटेक्शन, तब सबके रूल्स एक साथ देख लेंगे, ठीक है। एक बार फिर भी स्टार्टिंग से देख लेते हैं क्या क्या रूल है। खाली रूल नंबर 1 क्या था, व्हेन टू सब्जेक्ट्स आर जॉइंड बाय एंड। अगर दो सब्जेक्ट एंड के साथ जुड़े हैं तो वर्ब कैसी आएगी, प्लूरल आएगी, ठीक है। रूल नंबर 2, व्हेन टू सिंगुलर नाउन्स जॉइंड बाय एंड रेफर द सेम पर्सन और थिंग, द वर्ब इज सिंगुलर। अगर दो सिंगुलर नाउन्स किसके साथ जुड़ रहे हैं, एंड के साथ, और यहाँ पे क्या था, दो सब्जेक्ट थे, ठीक है, तो कैसी वर्ब आएगी, सिंगुलर आएगी। रूल नंबर 3, indefinite pronouns everyone, each one, someone, somebody, no one, nobody, anyone, anybody, ये सब कैसी होती है, सिंगुलर। रूल नंबर, और इसमें ये रूल किस पर अप्लाई नहीं होता, फ्यू, मैनी, सेवरल, बोथ, ऑल, सम। सम मतलब कुछ हो जाता है तो एक से ज़्यादा हो जाता है, ऑल मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा, सेवरल मतलब पता नहीं एक से ज़्यादा होगा लेकिन एक नहीं होगा, मैनी मतलब एक से ज़्यादा होगा, फ्यू मतलब कुछ, ठीक है। इन सब का मतलब सिंगुलर सेंस निकलता है, एवरी वन, ईच वन, जहाँ पे वन लगा है। समबडी यानी कि कोई एक, कोई भी, जैसे प्रेयर में खड़े होकर बोलते हैं ना, समबडी कम हेयर, यानी कि कोई एक जना आ जाओ। रूल नंबर 4, व्हेन द परसेंटेज और अ पार्ट ऑफ समथिंग इज मेंशन्ड विद प्लूरल मीनिंग, द प्लूरल वर्ब इज यूज्ड। Rule number 5, when the subjects are joined by either or neither or are different persons, the verb will agree with the noun nearest to it. Rule number 6, if connectives, apostrophes, likes, along with, together with, as well as, accompanied by, etc. are used to combine two subjects, the verb agree with the subject mentioned first. Rule number 7, a number of some countable noun is always plural, the number of some countable noun is always singular. क्या अंतर है ए और द का। रूल नंबर 8, द सिंगुलर वर्ब फॉर्म इज यूजुअली यूज्ड, द सिंगुलर वर्ब फॉर्म इज यूजुअली यूज्ड फॉर यूनिट्स ऑफ मेजरमेंट और टाइम। रूल नंबर 9, व्हेन एनी ऑफ फ्यू, मैनी, सेवरल, बोथ, ऑल, सम इज यूज्ड विद काउंटेबल नाउन, द वर्ब इज प्लूरल। ओके। रूल नंबर 10, व्हेन एनी ऑफ फ्यू, मैनी, सेवरल, बोथ, ऑल, सम इज यूज्ड विद अनकाउंटेबल नाउन, द वर्ब इज सिंगुलर। अगर काउंटेबल नाउन है तो कैसी आएगी, प्लूरल आएगी, और अगर अनकाउंटेबल है तो कैसी आएगी, सिंगुलर आएगी, ठीक है। और इसके साथ हो जाता है ख़त्म। अब कर चलेंगे अगले में एडजेक्टिव, एडवर्ब, जितने भी बचे हैं।